And hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents Conversations ATL. And I'm here with somebody who really needs no introduction. Ezzy B, someone I've known now. It's hard to believe now, almost a decade.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that we've known each other. He is someone that you guys know as a media personality. He's a DJ. Of course, he's the creator behind Ezzy Spotlight. We're going to talk to him about all of that, what's been like him to build his own brand. But we have something funny to share with you guys. As I was when Ezzy agreed to do this, you know me, I'm a nerd. So I was like, I got a picture with Ezzy. This was my very first time in Atlanta, by the way.
Right.
When I first came to Atlanta. So we both are gonna look different. So let me just first preface it by saying that. But I want you guys to see this picture that I have of Ezzy and I back in 2015, which is pretty crazy. So I'm gonna let you guys see this. You guys ready? You ready?
I was still in uniform then.
so this was our first handshake together.
Yeah.
Back in 2015.
At that time, I owned 106 Live Radio, and you used to syndicate on the show as well. So
Yeah.
I had to meet you in person.
Yeah. So that was I don't know what I'm wearing there, but
you're looking strong.
like that is quite embarrassing. But here we go. So Ezzy, man, you've been able to do so many great things. So first of all, I want to say thank you so much for your contribution to arts and entertainment. And one thing I have to say about Ezzy, y'all, because he also he did a party for me at what was the place? It was
yeah, I don't remember the name, but I remember it's on Nelson Street.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. And so the energy you have when it comes to music and entertaining people, what has it been like for you to do what you love, Ezzy, and to share that with us?
Man, it's a passion. It first started with me just loving music, and not just one genre of music. Of course, I'm from the Caribbean. I'm from Grenada, to be exact. And I lived in Brooklyn, New York for a while. And for many years, man, I've been just collecting music, hip hop and everything. And then before you know it, one of the biggest DJs in New York at the time, came to my house just to hang out, and we just started playing music. And he was like, "Yo, do you know you're a great DJ?" At the time, I just saw myself as someone who just loved music. And before you know it, Cyrus, I was out there. Then I moved to Atlanta. A few years after that, one person who knew me from New York knew that I was here, and that was it. But at the same time, being able to incorporate the different diversity of the music into the entertainment side of things, into the event, creates a high energy, because I think music is supposed to be fun and exciting. Right. So I use that energy to incorporate into my sets, and that's why I can actually incorporate multiple genres or transition into multiple genres without missing a beat. And you will be dancing some reggae, man, and you won't even know. Then you go back to hip hop and you won't even know it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is taking you literally around the world, Ezzy. I mean, I've seen the videos, the pictures of you being able to be a part of different events. I've always felt like, and you know this more than me being in the industry,
right,
that music is truly that universal language. We hear people say that, but you, I think, are proof that music is that universal language that connects everyone. Is that what you've seen?
Yeah, exactly. Because even here in Atlanta, 8 years ago, we started what you call the International Night Market, which showcases different countries, different nationalities from across the globe. At least 50 countries in attendance every single year. And to be able to be from the Caribbean, to be at that event, and to be able to entertain and to play music from people from different walks of life, different nationalities, different countries, different cultures, it says a lot. So it really, it resonates with the fact that understanding that universal language, people can relate to the music, man, and it's a really good feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talk to us about branding, because a lot of us got to know you as Ezzy B.
Right.
Of course, you posted the Ezzy B show.
Right.
When you branded Ezzy Spotlight, talk to us about that and exactly what all it encompasses today.
So started off with the 106 Live Radio. Of course, I am DJ Ezzy. Everyone knew me as Ezzy in Atlanta. But at the same time, I felt like after I transitioned from the radio, I felt like I needed to create my own legacy. From the Ezzy brand, okay. But however, I've also felt that as a small businessman, there are people who cannot go to mainstream media because they don't have the funding,
Mm-hmm.
and then you don't have the celebrity status
Mm-hmm.
to go to those mainstream media. So I say, you know what? I want to be spotlighted if I was given the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't I just create Ezzy Spotlight? And that's how this whole brand started, to showcase the hidden gems in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Spotlighting the hidden gems, like yourself.
Yeah.
Well, you're not hidden anymore, but
I'm kind of still here.
No, you're not hidden anymore.
but I love this. I want to stay with this for a second
Right.
because you saw a need,
Mhm.
and you then went about filling the need.
Right.
I want to talk about that because I think our audience can relate to this, Ezzy, that there may be a need that they see
Right.
in their community.
Mhm.
And for you, you saw a need for those who were trying to amplify their voices. Others may see it in other ways. What was it like for you to come up with a plan for it? 'Cause I think a lot of times that's where the failure happens,
Yes.
right? People don't, they say, okay, I want to do this, which is great. But the plan, you actually had a whole rollout. I remember it.
Yes. Yes.
So how important was that in your making sure it was a success?
Well, first of all, being dedicated,
Mm-hmm.
understanding the assignment,
Mhm.
understanding there's a commitment and a sacrifice that you have to make. Because at the end of the day, like you said, that's where a lot of the discouragement comes in, especially when you're building. That's where the biggest expense comes, because you're buying new equipment, you're getting the space. And you know me, I believe in doing stuff in a brick and mortar, because again, you're trying to create a brand that people can relate to.
Mhm.
You're trying to present it in the most professional manner. So at the end of the day, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of sleepless nights, especially when you're doing it all by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it goes back to that level of commitment. It goes back to the level, that sacrifice that you're making. The vision,
Mm-hmm.
sticking to the vision. A lot of people, Cyrus, fail also because along the way, they don't stick to the vision.
Mm-hmm.
They get distracted. They feel like they get
Yes.
overwhelmed. They get over frustrated. But one thing I always tell people, man, you don't change the vision.
Mhm.
You can tweak it, but you don't change it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my philosophy.
I think that's such a great point, and it's such a great reminder for all of us, Ezzy. So let's talk about then for you, when you started Ezzy Spotlight, what was the overall vision for you?
The overall vision was to make this a household name.
Okay.
Make this a household name. Make this a place where everybody want to be spotlighted.
Mhm.
Make this the target for the small mom and pop in the community, the mid-sized businesses in the community who are looking for that exposure to come and sit with me and talk to me. One of the biggest things that I wanted to do was to travel around different locations and meet with the people at their location to showcase the product, their brands, the businesses, the services, and all of that.
Mhm.
But I realized that a lot of times you go to places and the lighting may be bad, then you need time to get set up and all of that. So to minimize that obstacle or that challenge, I just got a studio. I built a whole new studio again, as you know. I said, okay, you know what? Come over to the studio. Let's have a conversation. Once you go in there, your lights, camera, action, are ready to go.
And you're making this a family affair. That was one of the things that impressed me about you. When we do see your family, especially your son,
Right.
To see him in the studio with you. I remember seeing that.
Yes, yes.
What was that like for you?
But it made me feel good. It made me feel like, because a lot of times, man, these kids are born into these situations where they don't take it seriously. My son was born with all this music equipment all over the place. So for him to still transition when time permits from school and to still come into the studio to assist me to build that legacy. I mean, he's a primary beneficiary from this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's also a legacy that he can take, because at the end of the day, he goes by the name of Ezzy as well. So if something happens to me, he can just take the baton and run with it.
Gotcha. So I want to talk about the other side of this, which we're both benefiting from right now.
Right.
And that is social media.
Oh, yes.
Social media, I feel like, it definitely has leveled the playing field. I know people say that, but to me, it allows us to be able to get the attention. How have you been able to use it, Ezzy, in building the Ezzy Spotlight brand to harness the attention for what you're doing today?
First things first, it minimizes the backlog of work that I do, because just like you and I right now, everything we do now is visual. Videos. People want to be seen, not just heard anymore. I know you still do the radio. I'm getting a lot of requests to get back on radio. But in the meantime, the workload that goes into production and editing videos and stuff is really important, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So social media is very important right now, where you can do live. You can just create a quick clip or reel or something like that without having to go back and sit down and do post-production. So this is one of the biggest advantage for me right now, to take advantage of the services or the opportunities that social media offers.
Love that. So what keeps it for you as you kind of go from navigating your love of music, still being able to share that, to your love of interviewing, as you're able to do with your own show?
Right.
What is it that keeps all of that exciting for you personally?
Connecting with people.
Okay.
Connecting with people. It's that, a lot of times people say, they want to connect with people, but at the same time, when you have the lights, the cameras, the action, the microphones, sometimes people can get intimidated by those conditions, especially when you're not used to it. But at the same time, getting someone to come in front of all of these equipment, sit down and be comfortable, and you get information from them, but at the same time, you're telling the story, is something that I'm very, very passionate about. Because everyone has a story, Cyrus. Everyone has something that they're doing significant that needs to be recognized. A lot of times, these people don't even know how much of an impact they're making, or how much of an impact they have or could make as a result of the services they offer. But if you don't talk about it, you don't see it, you don't feel that impact. But also, too, one thing I realized, there's a big difference when you're speaking to someone virtually and speaking to someone in person.
Yeah.
It changes the whole dynamic, the whole experience for the guest, just like we're doing right now. I mean, it's exciting to be here. I'm sure you're excited,
right? I am. Woohoo.
This guy.
I am excited, but
I know how you are, man.
But you're exactly right, and this is a really good point. But I also think there's a lesson to be learned for people.
Yes.
Because I think, as what you have learned, what I had tried to do, and what I hope other people do too, is it all is about starting. You have to start, and I think a lot of people are waiting for the perfect conditions.
Right.
Talk to us about that, because yes, you want it to be the best representation of you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yes.
But talk to us about the importance of not wasting time for you. Because time, I tell people all the time is my biggest currency.
Right.
And I get more disappointed by if I feel like something has wasted my time than if something didn't actually happen. So how do you balance that, how you look at time and how you use your time?
Time lost can never be regained. You know what I'm saying? But also, I always feel if you lose an opportunity today, you may not get it back tomorrow. And that's one of the things I live by. You know what I'm saying? I am not a tomorrow kind of guy. Now, a lot of times you need other resources to execute on the vision. But if I can find an alternative just so I can execute, I will do exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. Ezzy B of Ezzy Spotlight is our guest for this segment of Cyrus Webb Presents here on Conversations ATL. We've been talking with him about his extraordinary journey. So what's coming up, Ezzy? What should we be on the lookout for?
So what you'd be looking at for, man, is the expansion brand of the Ezzy. In addition to Ezzy Spotlight, I decided to just brand Ezzy as another platform, another merchandise, another brand that's going to be out there on a very high level. So right now I'm in the process of testing the different quality of shirts, merchandise. I want to make sure that if you're going to wear this logo, you're getting a quality brand that you can get in any of the major stores. So I'm doing a lot of testing, a lot of expenses, and trying different things, seeing what works best with the different merchandise, and make sure that people are. If I'm not satisfied, I can't sell it to you.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Also, the Ezzy Spotlight podcast may be expanding as well.
Interesting.
Because the vision I have is not what I currently have right now. So there's an opportunity to expand, to be able to showcase more of the hidden gems in the communities and beyond. I'm also working on that. I still DJ on some significant stages. As a matter of fact, my next gig here in Atlanta. If you guys come to Atlanta, make sure to check out Casey and the Sunshine Band. I'll be opening for them next week.
Wow. Okay.
Then I have some other major events coming up as well. We have the Juneteenth Father's Day event that I'm behind the scenes working on. A lot of major events, and it's still, I still do Caribbean events too.
Right.
I gotta represent the culture.
Right.
So I have a lot of those, man, and I'm excited about where I'm going. One thing I do recognize, Cyrus, and I want to say this right quick. nothing good happens overnight.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times people expect to get results today for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
What I understand is you got to grind this thing out. You've been doing this for how long?
20 years.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Your success level now is at its greatest heights it's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
That took you 20 years to get there.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm doing right now, everything that you see, I expect to escalate it further within the next year and beyond.
Well, we already know it's going to happen.
Appreciate you, man.
No, seriously, because I've only known you to keep growing.
Absolutely.
You know, in the time I've known you.
Yes.
So, and both of us have since 2015.
well, you know how I've always reached out to you. Every time I see you post something that's magnificent, man, you know, a lot of times people feel like we're in competition.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We feel selfish or jealous of the other. But every time I see you post something significant that you've accomplished, I send you a DM or a comment on your post. Say, yo, man, I'm happy to see
and
this.
I feel the same way.
Absolutely.
I feel the same way about you. And
Absolutely.
And you're right. I mean, I've never looked at any of it as a competition.
Right.
But I think it's great that we can celebrate each other, as we should be able to do.
Exactly.
Hey, Kate's another great person here in Atlanta. Kate, make sure if you're not connected with Ezzy, make sure you connect with Ezzy. We have him tagged there on Facebook. Ezzy, let them know how to stay connected with you, man.
Absolutely. Hi, Kate. I know Kate very well.
Oh, do you? Okay, all right.
But once again, guys, make sure you follow me at Ezzy Spotlight. That's EZZY Spotlight on all social medias. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. And of course, if you live in Atlanta and you want to be a guest to showcase your talent, your skills, your product, your services, make sure you log on to EzzySpotlight.com. That's EzzySpotlight.com for more details.
There you go. So I tell you, he's a professional, y'all. You can tell. Ezzy, thank you again, man. Really appreciate you.
Appreciate you, bro. Good to see you, man.
Same here, man. Glad to be back in ATL. And we definitely thank you all for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents Conversations ATL. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.